prepping this. So today we're making what we call a fast Hawaiian pizza. So this pizza is supposed to be with, you know, possible ingredients that you have at home, maybe all the time, most of the time, or most of the ingredients that you have at home. So let's go over our ingredient list. We need shredded mozzarella. If you're using ham, some deli style ham. It can either be chunked or it can be, you know, for like sandwich style, it's perfectly fine. Some dried basil, a flour tortilla, a tomato, some garlic powder, dried oregano. I have some of that, some pizza sauce, and pineapple chunks or rings. It's up to, you know, whatever you have available. I'm gonna use chunks.
You want to dice your? I like to chunks. I like small, not too chunky.
Yeah.
I like small size, but not too big.
You like it? Me too. That's how I like mine. So we're gonna go over our equipment list right now. So you would need a cutting board and a knife, a toaster oven, or a regular oven if you are using one, a plate, some aluminum foil, measuring spoons, and measuring cups, and a sheet pan to cook your pizza on. All right, so is everyone ready to get started? Is everyone all set with the ingredients?
Yeah.
Okay, so what the first thing yep, do you have a question, Michael? No. Okay, the first thing that we do when we're gonna cook in our toaster oven, what should we do for our toaster oven?
Preheat the oven?
You should preheat the oven, that is right. So the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven to 400 degrees.
Huh? I don't think so.
So I'm gonna preheat my oven and I'm gonna make sure it's on bake. And I'm gonna put it on for 400 degrees. That way, when it's time to put our pizza in, it's all preheated and ready to go. So then our next step would be is our pan. We want to get aluminum foil on our pan. That makes it for a much easier clean when you're melting cheese. So you want to take a strip of aluminum foil and you want to coat your pan, whichever pan you're using to put your pizza on. You're doing a really good job with that, Lily.
Well, now
you're welcome.
I do cooking in my new house too.
I know, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Mm. Are you at your house right now?
No, my old house.
Oh, nice. You're at your mom's house. That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So as everyone's ready with the pan, our next step is we want to get our flour tortilla. So, you know, if you don't have a flour tortilla, what things you could use as substitutes? Oh, yes, that's cauliflower. That's the gluten-free. I like that.
Well, it's cauliflower one.
How does it taste?
Tastes pretty good.
Good. I'm gonna have to try that. I've never tried it before. I'm gonna try it though. So we're gonna put our flour tortilla right on our pan that we're using.
Does it ask for like a skillet to do it on?
Yeah, but we don't have to do that part. So we're not gonna use the stove and put it in a skillet. We actually don't have to do that part because we're gonna bake it and it's still gonna be crispy.
Okay.
But good
I would
question.
save it for dinner tonight, maybe.
What?
I save that for dinner tonight.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
It's always good to pre-make your food, right? So then when dinner time comes, you don't have to worry about cooking it. You can just put it in the oven and wait, and it's all done.
Yeah.
Or heat it up if it's already cooked.
I know.
So the next thing we need is our sauce. Everyone has such a different preference of sauce. I have this old style pizza sauce. I don't know. Everyone uses different kinds.
My mom like makes sauce a lot too.
Oh, so she made homemade sauce. You are lucky. That is the best kind.
I like buying things. Yeah.
Yeah. So the key to this is we don't want to use too much sauce, because if you're using a flour tortilla, as you see, it's not too thick. So if we put too much sauce on it, it's gonna just kind of move. It's not gonna be able to hold itself. So I'm gonna lower my camera, and if you guys have questions, just please feel free to let me know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons. We need to get our tablespoon out.
Excuse me.
Oh, 2 tablespoons?
Yep, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons for this part. I know that recipes will sound, it looks a little different, Natalia, but we're gonna add more sauce, okay?
I already measured out my tomato sauce already.
Well,
This much.
okay, well, you can just, how about you, yeah, just put a little bit on and then spread it around, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna put 1. 2. Get this out of there. And what I'm gonna do is I don't want to spread it all the way to the edges, right? Because I want to have some crust.
Oops.
So I'm gonna spread it around. And how I always do this, it's better to add a little at a time and then add more if it's needed. So I'm gonna add a total of 3 tablespoons, but I spread out my 2 first, and I leave about a ½ inch around the edges. That way my pizza will stay together and have a good crust. So now if you want, you can add 1 more tablespoon of sauce and just trickle it around. So, and I spread it around evenly.
Look at hers.
Yeah.
I know there's plenty, but go a little bit out. Oh, she don't want you to go
No.
too far. Okay, you got it.
And if you go all the way to the edges, it's okay. What happens is that sometimes it doesn't stay together as easily, right? You don't have that crust. Okay. The next step would be if you're adding fresh tomato. You want to chop and dice your fresh tomato, and you want to add your fresh tomato. As I've told you, tomatoes are not my favorite. So I'm actually going to skip this part, and I'm not going to add the fresh tomato, but right after your sauce is when you want to put your tomatoes on. So kind of like you're building a pizza, okay? So it's all about your preference.
I love tomato.
I know you do, Natalia. They're really healthy for you. Lily, if you're saying anything, I can't hear you. You're muted.
We have dry potato.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to hear how it is. So after your tomato, you're going to add your pineapple.
Let's do the pineapple.
So I have chunks here. So what I'm going to do, bring this over so I can show you guys, is I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to make them a little smaller, because just like Lily, I like my pineapple not to be too big on my pizza. And if you have rings, what you can do is just chop the ring up.
Yeah.
I have rings.
Yep. So you want to take your ring, Natalia.
I actually chopped it up too. So
Nice. Look at you. You're all prepared. That looks perfect.
Oh, crap.
So pineapple next.
Yep. Pineapple next.
Tomatoes aren't good. No.
And this is all about, you know, personal preference, really.
Darn it.
So I'm going to start putting my pineapple on. And one of like my favorite parts about building a pizza is how you can make it the appearance of it, right? Sometimes you can make it like a messy pizza and just thrown together. Sometimes you can really put the things in a design, like the pineapple can go in design on the pizza. I got my pineapple. You guys are doing a great job.
Okay.
So our next step is our basil. Now we're gonna do all of our herbs and spices. So we want 1.5 teaspoons of basil. So I have my teaspoons here. I have a 1 teaspoon and 1/2 teaspoon. And you can, if you have fresh, you can use fresh. I'm using dried basil. So I'm gonna get 1. There's 1 teaspoon, and I'm gonna do 1/2.
Is it this?
Yep, that's basil, yep.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna sprinkle this on our pizza. All around 1.5 teaspoons.
So they use all of that, Lily. You can use as much or as little as you want to.
Yes. So if you really love basil, you can use a little more. If you want to use, it's not one of your favorite.
I like this garlic better, so like I don't know. It's easy for me.
There.
After our basil, Michael, you're doing a great job. So are you, Lily, Natalia, that was looking
Yes.
great. We want our oregano, our dried oregano. So we want 1 teaspoon, just 1 teaspoon of dried oregano.
Different.
Is it this? Just double check.
Yep. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna sprinkle this all around our pizza. Mainly staying, you know, you can put some on the crust too for flavor.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm.
And our last spice that we're gonna use for this part is garlic powder. So we want only 1/2 teaspoon. So your smallest, well, not your smallest one, because I think it goes all the way to 1/4, but the one that says 1-2.
I take off.
And this is all about preference, right, too. So if you really like garlic, you could use more if you really like the taste of garlic. I love garlic. It's one of my favorites. And the good thing about using garlic powder is that you can use a little more, but if you were to use garlic salt, you wouldn't want to use too much extra because it would be very salty, not just garlicky. Lily, I like how you're doing that little dash. I like that. When we
Yeah.
have our cooking class with Lindsay, that's how she taught us, huh, Michael? To do our salting, right? You pick it up and you pinch it and you let it go down like this. Perfect, just like that, Lily. Awesome. So people, the next step would be our ham. So you want either your ham, if you're using deli style ham, you want to cut it up into little chunks, into little pieces. You want to put your ham around. I actually am not going to use ham today.
Kind of movie.
So cut it on there and cut it as big or little as you want.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing about this pizza. You can make them big chunks of ham. You can make them smaller chunks.
Here, I'm gonna take this one.
You guys are doing great. Good job, Michael.
There.
So we're gonna wait for everyone to get their ham all set. This is smelling really
Oh,
good.
mine look like this.
As much as you
Yeah.
want.
So if you want to put it on as strips, or if you want to break them up into smaller pieces, it's up to you, Natalia.
Oh, okay.
So it's, you know, it's all how depends on how you want to eat your pizza. You guys are doing really awesome. And after our ham is our last step, which is our shredded mozzarella cheese. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup. And I used a full 1/4 cup, so it's a little bit full. And I'm just going to sprinkle this around, mainly staying on my sauce. So this would be the time if you want to add more, a little more sauce, you could. I think we put enough sauce on ours. So we want a 1/4 cup of cheese.
Is this a 1/4 cup of cheese?
Well, Natalia, I want you to use your eye.
Okay.
I have faith in you, and I want you to put enough cheese on there.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Just like how I sprinkled it on, looks just like a pizza now. And that's the cool thing about this. Most of our recipes that we do is that they are strongly a guidance. So if you can always substitute something if you don't like it, you can always add a little extra. If you really like garlic, you can put a little extra in there. But about the cheese, my one suggestion is to not add too much extra cheese, because that's how we're going to wait for it to cook. We're going to wait for this cheese to melt. So if you have a lot of cheese on it, it's going to take a lot longer to cook.
Oh, okay.
Let me see yours.
I don't know if you can see mine.
That looks good. That looks perfect. Look at yours, Michael. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
How's it coming, Lily? Are you going to put yours in the oven now, or are you going to wait for later?
What?
Is it time to put it in?
Not yet. They had to tell us.
So everyone's ready. We're going to put it in the oven now.
See?
So what we're going to do is put it in the oven for a total of, we're going to check it in 5 minutes. So we're going to put it in our oven, being very careful because it is hot.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You have a place to put it over here, so you don't go near the computer. And we're gonna go 5 minutes, Carmen said. So we start the timer. And when it gets to 5 minutes, then you'll know what's going on. How'd the ham work out?
That's good.
I don't know Mom's password, so I can't I can't put that back together. I know her email. but I don't
All right.
know.
Now would be a good time, since if you got it in the oven, to kind of pick up your space a little bit that you used. That way, when your pizza's done, it can come out and be nice, clean area.
It's kind of dirty on the bottom.
So how we're gonna tell if our pizza's done is our cheese is gonna be melted. So we want our cheese to be nice and melted. How's it looking, Natalia?
It looks good.
It does look good. So how did everyone like, since we have a few minutes to wait while it cooks, we can chat about our recipe last week. So did you like the recipe last week, Natalia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael, did you like it too? Yeah. What about you, Lily? I know you didn't eat it right off, right? You saved yours for later. Was it good? Oh, you're muted, Lily. You're muted.
Yeah. Okay, she didn't hear you. You were muted.
I just make it in my new house.
So
Oh, nice.
Lily made it for dinner with her roommate
How
on
was it?
Sunday.
because it was so good.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That makes me really happy. I liked it too, but I will be honest, after I picked the mushrooms off. So I did try it though. Yeah, I'm with you, Lily.
It was good. It was nice and good, wasn't it? It had a nice lunch.
Yeah. So Michael, I know that you are traveling soon, right? Is it coming soon?
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. You are very lucky to be going somewhere where it's not negative temperatures. And what you, yeah,
I
what
got
you,
negative temperatures up here.
what?
I got negative temperatures up here.
Oh, I know. This morning when I checked it on my van, it was -6.
Oh,
Is it ever going to get warm?
I wish.
But Michael, what you could do for us is bring us back a bottle of sand from the beach. And that can make us
You like
dream
that?
we could dream about being at the ocean, at the beach too.
Nice break.
Yes. And when you go down there, Michael, I lived in Florida for some time and I moved to Florida in February. And when I went down there, I was like, let's go to the ocean, guys. Like I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and all of the people that lived there were wearing like sweaters and pants. It was like 65 degrees out and they're like, it's winter. I said, what? It's not winter. This is like the ocean weather, right? Because I came from up here where it was really winter. But even down there, they still consider it winter, even though it's still in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Mhm.
Well,
Which is
we've
fun.
got all our winter clothes too, so.
Yep. I lived in Florida for 7 years, and the year before we left, it snowed on Christmas Day. It didn't land on the ground. It didn't make anything, but you could see the snow coming from the sky a little bit on Christmas Day, one time. So I have about 6 seconds left. I'm gonna check my pizza.
I think mine is done.
Yours is done. So I'm gonna add mine for another 4 minutes.
That's her house. Okay. I don't know if it is.
Because we want that crust to be a little crispy, and we want all of our cheese to be melted.
I didn't tell you something.
Okay,
I'm going to USA games.
you are?
Yeah, to
Oh
pick
my-
me.
You're competing? Are you going to? Wow, what an achievement. I am so
Huh?
proud of you, Lily.
Or where in
Orlando.
Orlando.
Window.
You're going
Orlando
to Orlando, Florida?
in June.
In June.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
So you're doing the swimming event.
Yeah. I
That
took
is-
coaches, so
Whew. Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense why you like that protein, right?
Tim and Sally.
Oh, well, Lily, I am super proud of you, and I cannot wait to hear all about your adventures come June. And
Yeah.
if I can watch it, I'm not sure how, if it's live streamed or whatnot. I wish I could come to Orlando, Florida to watch you, but that's a far dream for me.
Yeah.
No, I think it looks good.
So if there's
Making the
any
TV.
way, yeah, if there's any way you could share with us how we are able to watch it, I would love to support you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I have about 2 minutes left of mine. So we're gonna let our crust get nice and brown on the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Natalia, how's it coming?
Sure.
Well,
Up a little bit. Is all the cheese melted?
Yeah.
I thought it could go another minute. What do you think?
Maybe put it in for 1 more minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Dad is. Her mom can't. That's Dad.
So I have a minute and 50 seconds for mine. So Natalia, we'll take ours out at the same time, okay?
So here you put your timer on, but if you don't want to have used the timer, if you put it down here, it stays on. So just set your temperature.
That's
That
what
looks
Dad-
like our, it
Good.
looks like our.
Looks very similar, doesn't it?
Pull it out.
I know it is.
Don't forget, because it'll get you
So-
burned.
How come so quiet?
Yeah, Natalia, me and you will take ours out at the same time because I have about a minute and a half left of mine, okay?
Okay.
That cheese melt, yeah.
Mm. Michael, how's your kitchen smelling in there? Does it smell good?
Yeah, it does smell good, doesn't it? Yeah, we need a little more time.
Okay, baby.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's the thing
I
about
can
these
put
toaster
fire.
ovens. They all cook different, right? We put them all in the same temperature, but some of them take longer to preheat. Sometimes if you open them, the heat goes out and it takes longer for it to heat up. That's what's different about everyone's ovens and kitchen utensils. So I have 40 seconds, Natalia. I'll let you know when to take it out, okay?
Okay.
My cheese is getting melted and my crust is getting brown. So sometimes if your cheese is not melted all the way, when your crust is done, what you always could do is put it on broil, but I think everyone's cheese should be melted this way.
Yeah.
That's just an option. So 10 seconds, Natalia. All right, my timer's going off.
It's not very nice.
So we're gonna take out your pizzas.
Standing in a batch for us. Okay. I like him. He put him.
Yes.
At work, I need to invest it in an oven mitt. We don't have an oven mitt here.
Oh,
I had
or
oven.
a mitt,
A bit.
pot holder.
Yeah.
Do I take out mine now?
Yep, take it out. It should be good. I'm gonna lower mine so you guys can see. You see how my edges crisped up here? All of my cheese is melted.
Uh-huh.
Smells delicious.
See what it looks like.
Oh, that's good.
That looks good, Natalia. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is easily, nice and carefully transfer this to a plate like this.
Oh, it's just still cooking. So you gotta get it like
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, if you're done using your oven, a very important thing to remember is to turn it off. So
Different.
don't forget, Natalia, to turn your oven off.
I thought you wanted on the board. She put it on the plate?
Yeah.
On the plate, Carmen?
Yep, I put transfer it to a plate.
But yeah, 3%. You do have anything?
You want me to put this in a freezer?
Yeah. You think?
And that is perfect. That's a perfect thing for if you don't plan on using it right now, you can always make these and freeze them. So that way you have a freezer full of, 5 different pizzas, and you can use different toppings on each of them. And you easily can just put them in the oven and bake them. So it's kind of like a little bit of prep cooking.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Okay.
Perfect, Natalia.
No, okay, here.
Wait, I haven't.
Here, you don't need an idea. If you hold, look now, if you hold it on both sides, you're not gonna need to do that. Because it's gonna be very hard. There you go. Perfect.
That looks yummy. So I'm gonna take my knife. If you have a pizza cutter, you can always use a pizza cutter, but it's gonna be hard to cut it into pieces. But you gotta go nice and slow.
Doesn't have a plate like this. This plate's gonna stop you from cutting.
You know this crust is gonna crack,
Let me see what she's doing.
but if you just go nice and slow, you should be able to separate it.
She's not on the plate.
I'm gonna cut mine into 4s just because the less cutting that you do, the easier it is to stay together.
Each piece you can.
So now if you guys see what I mean about if you put on a lot of toppings, how it's a little harder to maneuver, but it's still doable.
Just anything.
See what she's doing.
Now I just go back and forth with my knife.
So you get your knife here, you push down on the
I
knife.
have 4 pieces.
Just go back and forth. on it. Just
Yeah.
No, you're not.
push. Okay. So try
Look
it.
at that, Michael. That looks delicious. And it might be a lot easier if you use a pizza cutter like Karen's using.
Well, my mom had pizza cutter too.
That's it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, pizza cutter will definitely be a little easier.
Well, she could cut it though.
Yeah.
Is that a hawk? No.
Yeah.
So now, if everyone's ready and it's nice and cooled down, we can take I know you're not going to eat yours, but next week when we meet, actually, that reminds me, there's going to be no cooking club next week on Friday. We will start up the following week. Next week, my daughter has surgery, so I won't be able to do cooking club. But I
Okay.
will send an email to remind everybody too. I reminded myself when I said I'll see you next week.
Okay.
But the following week, you can tell us how you liked it when you cooked it or when you got the opportunity to eat it. So, Michael, are you ready for a bite? Is it cooling still?
Here's
They
what
were
they
okay.
say. Hey, no worries.
So sometimes people like to eat their pizza and they can fold it. This will be a lot. This one is a nice one to fold. I'm gonna wait for Natalia until she gets her bite too.
Okay, I'm gonna try one.
All right, Michael's trying it. I'm gonna go for it. That is good. It is really yummy.
Good job.
So much.
You can
Very
hear us taking
good.
bites, huh? It's really yummy. Who would have thought you could make a good pizza out of a flour tortilla?
Yeah,
And the cool thing about this is that, like I was saying earlier, you can really use any toppings. You can make it could be a breakfast pizza. So you could do the same kind of concept and you could use scrambled eggs and sausage.
yeah.
Or if you liked everything pizza, it could be meat pizza. You can really use your imagination, and you can freeze them. So you can put them in the freezer. So it's kind of like a frozen pizza when you're cooking it.
Nice and crispy.
That's one thing that I will say. I have froze these a few times. Is that when you do freeze them, sometimes the crust doesn't get as crispy because it does retain a little bit of that moisture.
Lily, will your crust get crispy, do you think?
What?
I wondered if Lily's pizza being made out of cauliflower, would that get crispy?
Does it get crispy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It cooks
Yeah.
very similar.
yeah,
It's different, like pizza crust, maybe.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just a different type of pizza crust, but yes, it gets crispy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The gluten-free tortillas they're very thin, like the tofu ones.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure if they'd hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very
You
true.
You could make, if you wanted to make it like a Hawaiian pizza tortilla
Yeah.
on top of the stove and roll it, it might,
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
but cauliflower pizza was a good substitute.
Yes. And you know what,
Yeah.
Lily? We're going to learn so much from you because I'm going to be open and honest. I don't know much about a gluten-free diet. So I'm actually really getting excited because now I've learned some substitutes that you're using. And they're very healthy. So I can't wait to try them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is everyone? Does everyone like it?
But how like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is way better than last week.
Oh,
I love this one compared to that.
Oh, very good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining Cooking Club today. And as a reminder, there will be no Cooking Club next week.
okay.
I will send an email out to everyone to remind everybody, but I will see you the following week. And the following week, we'll be doing week 3, which will be,
Keep talking.
black bean blender soup.
What's
Okay,
that?
so that
Black bean soup.
black bean, mark that down, Matt, so we know.
Yep. So the next time we meet, not next Friday, but the following week, we're going to do black bean blender soup, and we'll be making a soup out of a blender.
Okay. Well, good luck with your daughter's surgery.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day, and I had so much fun as usual.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.